Hello folks, it's time for an update even. I got some complaints about the lack of music last time, so I've changed it. Got some music sorted out for you. Yes, so what can I say? I'm long overdue an update. It's been about 2 weeks. I've had COVID all this week, so I've not been, well, yeah, not in a very talkative mood, let's put it that way this week. Anyway, I thought we'd start with the old Reefer Glaucus, because they're doing really well. Maybe this is the wrong order to do this video, and let's just go for it. They're having a Mario worm? Superworm, whatever you want to call it. Mario worm, superworm time at the moment. And as you can see, they're quite fat, quite happy. These are how I would like to see my ants, basically. I wish I hadn't put bits of food up on these stones, because it's left these dirty stones. I have to take the stones out to clean them. But these ants are the ones that are performing the best out of all my ants by far. Have been for a long time. They're using the extension over there. I chop the mealworms up quite small, because they make more use of them. They actually carry them in and really chew them right down. And this is the large nest they're in these days. They always get a bit lively when I do some filming. But they are, look at them, they're just brilliant. So what I always wanted, right from the very, very start, when I first got into ant keeping, was a large colony of large Camponotus. That was the most important thing for me. These are a large Camponotus. They're much bigger than, say, Nikos, for instance, in size, not in colony size. And they're just really good. They're everything I always wanted. Future plans for them at the moment. I say I've got that extension on. The connector's still set up ready for this Saturn. If I want to do that, I can just take that off there and connect them up to the Saturn. That's an easy extension. Give them a bit more room. I took off the medium over here, and they've still got the same size outworld, which seems to be enough at the moment, to be honest. So that's them, and I'm just, overall, I'm happy with these. They're so successful, it's almost boring that they're successful. You could say, I shouldn't complain. They've got every stage in there, they always have. They do well, they seem to like it quite hot actually. No signs of hibernation at all, ever, with these. What's on that? See that sort of funny end on that pupa there. I like the look of them as well, they're sort of white and black stripy. Obviously that's only when they're quite full. And then, so far, I'm tempted to say it's looking good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to video them. I'll put them in a silly place for videoing. Let's have a look, see if I can. But look, so this is the, yeah, we've got proper pupas here. So these are my these are my maculatas that I got in the Halloween sale with 10 workers and 1 queen. And I don't think any brood at all. I don't think there was any brood, from what I can remember. I can't remember it being any brood. So that's quite fast development for them. I've never had fast development out of maculatus. So from the, I'm pretty sure it was the Halloween sale. That can't be, that wasn't that long ago, was it? Can't be a month. Well, maybe it could be. I've never had fast development out of maculatus before. But if what I'm saying is right, which I think it was, Halloween sale, 30% off on HQ. That's why I got them. No, it must have been before then. I don't know. Maculatas have never actually developed fast for me, but this could be bucking the trend. So I've got actual pupas there. The setup for them is pretty much tubs and tubes, you could say, but within a Saturn. Their tube is propped up there. I've got a temperature in there at 24, which is about average, and that's the same sort of height as the tube is off the ground, so it's hotter on the ground. And they've sealed up their entrance to all the tubes. And the answer is I've just left them to it, really. Feed them once, twice a week sometimes, and try not to touch them or do anything with them. And so far that's working. So hopefully all this winter it'll go well, and by next summer I'll actually have a colony big enough to survive the next heat wave if we get any. But I just don't know. I hope this is the last go with those. That'll be the 3rd attempt with maculatus. Must love them because I tried. Anyway, So it's good news with the Nicos. I just hoovered them out today, actually. You can see a lack of dead bodies. And yeah, they're hanging about. You see, there's a few out in the outworld, a few in there. They're not really eating, I have to be honest. So I gave them these 2 little chunks of superworm 4 hours ago. It's the first one I've seen even looking at it. Filled these up as well. You know, they're not acting like Nicos normally act. They've not emptied it. So they will drain that. That'll probably be empty by tomorrow. But, you know, they're hibernating. There's no other word for it. They're hibernating. But at least the die-off has stopped in the huge numbers it was. I mean, I hoovered them out, but the amount of dead that was in there was maybe 100 ants after 2.5 weeks. That's just literally nothing compared to what it has been like. Sorry. The Tetramorium bicarionatum, they've not moved into the nest. The antimatter nest, they've just not moved into it. I mean, silly to expect them to when these are in hibernation as well, I should be saying. I hoovered out about 30 dead out of here, which is the same for about 2.5 weeks. So still not disastrous, but I don't see them eating any protein, or like one ant at a time might be interested. I had 2 winged queens out earlier on. I've got down there. But this is, you know, it's hard. We're looking at hardly any ants ever. And I've not even looked what's going on in the nest, but I don't expect to see much. So there we are. So they're hibernating as well, basically. Yeah, and I'm just leaving them to it now. I did try for about a month of putting the temperature up to 25, so if I could wake them up again, but it's not worked. So I've brought it down to 24, and I may even go lower. It's not good news, if I'm honest, with the old harps. The queen is alive. The queen is the one here, closer. That's the worker, but the 2 larvae that I did have, like 2 weeks ago, seem to have vanished. I'm not sure what those little dots are down there. I hope that's not mould. I think it is. That looks like yellow mould on the bit of a cricket that's left down there. So it would. I hope it would be nice if that was an egg. I'll be ecstatic if those are eggs. Come on. Can't tell. Can't tell if those are eggs or not. It'd be brilliant if they've laid new eggs, because they've eaten the 2 larvae. And it's a balancing act with these, I've found. So I was to 3 workers. There's a dead worker up there. There's a cricket. That cricket has been in there for over a week. And they're not interested in it. It must be to do with if they've sorry, if they haven't got the larvae to feed. I don't think they're interested in killing the crickets. Basically, they don't eat the crickets themselves. I think Sid was talking about this. Maybe they're like Dracula ants and they feed off the larvae. That's my suspicion as well. And maybe part of the problem is I've not fed them enough when they had the larvae, so I didn't want them to end up with the dead body piles up in the nest. So maybe they've ended up eating the larvae instead of worrying about killing crickets, which is a bit of a pain. Yeah, the automatic ants. Look at these. So what's that been? 3 weeks since the update that included these, I think it is. So I'm trying to get rid of this. They've nearly emptied the black one. Chia seeds, I think it is. The water's gone down half. They've started making a bit of a impression on that. There's always action here. These are the Mesobarbarus, I should have said. There's always action. Any time, day or night, you look in there, there's action. It's up to them whether they want to hibernate or not, as far as I'm concerned. They're not being moved. The outworld part of their setup is on a heat mat that's set at 25. Yet their nest area up there is not on the heat mat, so it's up to them. If they want to stay cold, they can. If they don't, they don't. There's that will survive a cricket. I've actually tucked in smaller crickets than that as well, in the meantime, which I think they have eaten. The one's dead there though. So it's a mixed bag really at the moment. That's why it's hard to do an update, because the only thing I've got to... Oh, these are doing annoyingly well, I should say. So this is my irritants colony without a queen. I'm not going to take the top. I fed them today. They're doing brilliant still, and it's really depressing. And my old maculatus colony without a queen, they're still alive, doing brilliant. I don't feed them very often, about once every 2 weeks to fill those things up with sugar water. And it's annoying. It's so annoying those queens died, because those colonies would have been amazing by now. But I'm holding all my hopes up for this maculatus. I think they're... I don't want to change anything I'm doing. Obviously that tube is running out of water, and I've got to hope that they're going to find water. I can put a water feeder in if I have to, or hopefully they'll uncover those entrances to the Saturns and they've got all these tubes up here. That's my plan. Either let them get desperate and sort it out themselves, or put a water feeder in. And this could be the extension. I just don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not moving my mind up yet. I've got a spare large outworld that came with that large nest. I've got an Antcon, but I can't fit it in here. It's just not going to fit. I did actually try to get those 2 Saturns out, and I can't actually move them out now. They're that jammed in. Well, I thought I'm not going to mess about anymore. I don't need to get them out. It was always the plan to have 2 Saturns side by side in there, and there's actually room to have 2 more above them if I really want to. Could be a pain to feed it, but yeah. So these are the best. Look at them. I'd never even thought about Camponotus rufiglaucus. A few sellers sell them every now and again. It just happened to be this one time that Aunt Lady had a really big colony in. So I bought it. It was supposed to be 50 to 80 workers in a big tube, and it was a disgusting test tube. I don't know how. I honestly have no idea how it was like that. How they could have fed them in there, or what. None of them had these sort of zebra striped gasters. They were all like tiny little gasters, but they can't have. To get that big, they had to have been fed somehow. And yeah, they just boomed and carried on going, and they're doing well. These are supposed to be a small colony size, I think, 150-ish. You're supposed to get to. One place I saw said about 150 was max. Another place I saw said about 500 was max. And yet there's a German guy on YouTube, I can never remember his name, and he's got a colony. It looks more like it's a video of Nico's. It's thousands. So, and also the distribution of this species, some places you read, it's literally all over the place. It's most of southern Africa, it's Sri Lanka, it's into India, all sorts. And I don't think that's right. I don't know where these came from exactly, but the chances are that there's a lot of ants that look very similar that all get given the same name. And some hibernate, some don't. Some go into big colonies and some go to small colonies. Some are nocturnal, some aren't. These aren't nocturnal. You know, a lot of the descriptions of Camponotus rufiglaucus say they're nocturnal ants that live underground, blah, blah, blah. That's not what these are. So I'm hoping I've got the well, I know I've got the fast-growing ones. But have I got the large colony? Oh, this song coming on means it's time to stop. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you won't want to listen to the rest of this. Maybe one day. It goes a bit crazy. But look at them. They're just... The reason, as I say, I've chopped these up into small parts because they'll then do their best to try and get it through there. There's deliberately not much of a hole in that entrance. And yeah, you find that in the nest in various places. Like that's a good place. They like to. No, they've taken one there now. They'll take that there, and over the next 3 or 4 days, they'll munch that down until it's literally just half a shell or something. You don't get much of it. And whereas I've left a whole superworm in here, maybe put 3 or 4 slits in it so they can get into it. It sits here and starts going bad and looking horrible. So my advice, if you've got large Camponotuses, because they don't leave it in the nest either. That's the other thing. Some ants I've had, they leave rubbish in the nest all the time, but they don't look. That's nice and clean. They bring it back out again, or they leave it down here in this tube. So, yeah, for these particular ants, it's worth chopping it up because they'll do this. They'll carry it in. They do much more with it, basically, and it doesn't cause them to pollute the nest. But I have had lots of Camponotus that doesn't work for, so we're just talking about rufiglaucus. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry it's been a while since my last one. I've not been in the right frame of mind, to be honest. So there we go. Yeah. Oh, and I need to get some more sugar snaps, or I don't know, it's either Super Juice or sugar snaps. Obviously the temptation is if I go shopping for that, I'm going to want to buy another Queen, aren't I? It almost feels like sacrilege to order from Antics and not order a Queen Ant. So gotta cross that border. Okay, see you later. Thank you. Bye bye.